Hello, welcome back to the channel, Nigel here with your Nigel's Modelling Bench. Here we are now, pack 49 of this Hachette Lancaster bomber build, and this is in the B.III Dambuster. So in the last version, in the last pack, sorry, we fitted the ammunition belts for the rear turret, and they were a bundle of laughs. So here we have, I believe this is going to be the tail wheel. So pack 49, here we have all the contact details. You can see the model there. In the description below the video there is a link where you can go to a video and see the finished model built. So there's all the assembly for the tail wheels, and they've got a little thing here all about the Lancaster tail wheel. There are two different types. This is the early type of tyre. The later type of tyre, when you look at it sort of from the back, is like a H section, so it's got like two narrow treads contacting the ground. And that was because this wheel used to shimmy, you know, like when you push a trolley around your supermarket, you see one of the wheels shimmying. The double tread was to prevent that. Here we go, NX611. This is Just Jane, and currently being restored to be airworthy again. So yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful Mark 7. There we go. And then here we have Trafford Lee Mallory, the champion of big wing fighter tactics in the Battle of Britain. Lee Mallory was the most senior RAF officer killed in World War II. Blimey. Yes. That's Eisenhower there, isn't it? Wow. There we go. So, tail wheel and tyre. Let's have a look. So the first thing we'll do, we'll get our parts open and check we've got them all here. I've yet to have a part missing. In one of the previous parts I managed to fire a part across the room and I haven't found it. A part of the rear turret, unfortunately. But tiny little part that won't ever be seen anyway, so we're not going to worry about that too much. So we've got the tail wheel here. Looks like the tail wheel, yes, the tail wheel leg is actually metal, and then we've got this pivot pin here, which we're going to put in. So there we go. So going into we'll get the light on. So take the tyre 49A, okay, tyre 49A, and fit over the wheel rim 49B. So that's going to actually pop inside there. It might help to warm the tyre in a bowl of warm water or using a hairdryer. So what we're going to do is just push that in there sideways like that, okay, so we don't have to worry about heating things up. So push that in so that it's central, okay, so you've got it in there like that. And then just pivot the wheel and it will pop in just like that. So you don't need to worry about getting your hairdryer out or getting anything wet. And there we are. There's the wheel fitted in like that. Take the two parts of the wheel hub, 49C and 49D, and fit them. So that's going to go into the center like that, and that's going to go into that side there. Push the inner hub. This is a push fit connection. So there we go. So that's in like that. I'm going to take a sanding sponge. Okay, this is an 800 grit, and I'm just going to sand this tyre to get rid of that mould seam in the middle, which is something all us scale modelers do. It's looking like it's pretty tough and doesn't want to come off. Okay, we'll get something a bit coarser. So I've got this is 240, I think. There we go, that's getting into it, look. We're going to get rid of that mould seam in the middle of the tyre because they always look awful. So just sand that away with some sandpaper or a sanding stick or whatever you've got. Just keep going until it's all gone. Notice I'm using a sponge, not a hard stick, because I don't want to put flat spots on the tyre and I don't want to sort of square it off. I want to keep the sides radius. That is a really tough old beast, that seam. It doesn't want to come off. What would probably help is if I put it in the freezer and froze it overnight, make it a bit harder. But, cool, that is really taking some work to get off. We'll leave it at that. But you can see we've also got that worn scuff look to it now as well, which is better. If you want to polish it back up, just come back in with a there we go. As you can see, it looks much better now, doesn't it? Right, so that's that. So now we've got to put it into our rear leg. Here they go, dragging the instructions out again. So you're throwing it in there, and then they're showing it with it in, and then you're going to come over the page and you're going to insert the pin. Okay, so insert the pin, smooth end first, get that into the wheel. Alright, and then we're going to grab a pair of pliers. These are nice smooth ones, they don't have any teeth on them, so they won't mark anything. Oh, that went in very, very easily, so it's likely to just pop out again. Yes, it is. It's not a very tight fit at all. So I'll leave it like it is for now, but when it comes to the end, I think we'll super glue it in. But that is literally, you can see here, I can just push that out. So we'll try it from this way. Maybe the hole on this side is slightly smaller. No. We'll leave it like that for now. I might want to take it out and repaint this anyway. So that's our tail wheel made up. So we can put that away until another day. So I think what we'll do now is have a look straight into pack 50, because pack 50 we're actually looking at a circuit board and some lights. So let's have a look at pack 50. We'll get the light off again because we're looking at the magazine. So I'll get this one open. Bag over there, put the box of parts over there. Let's have a look what pack 50 is going to bring us. So you can see we've got identification lights, we've got a circuit board, and we've got some screws. It's going to be a bit of fun by the look of it. I'm going to fit all this into the bottom of the aircraft, and then here we've got the rear gun turret. Don't know why they're talking about that now, but there's a famous picture from yeah, Woodford. There's some lovely pictures there, and you can see that's the slightly later turret with the glass in the sides. The metal panel came all the way around and wrapped round, and then at a certain point they actually changed it so that if that turret was turned the other way you'd see it, because that's an early one. And you can see as well these early turrets, they were painted interior green and aluminium inside, and then later in the war they went to black. The front, the nose turret remained green and silver, but the rest of the turret went black. John Nearing Nettleton, this young South African born officer, became a Lancaster pilot in the Royal Air Force and won the Victoria Cross in 1942. So there we go, John Nettleton led the first major Lancaster raid of the war. Blimey. And then we got Nettleton here. He's marrying Betty Havelock, Assistant Section Officer of the Women's Auxiliary Air Force at St Mary's Magdalene Church, Lincoln. There we go. Happy day for both of them. And then we've got the Mosquito, beautiful aircraft. If you haven't got one yet, get the Tamiya one. It's a beautiful, beautiful kit. There we go. Beautiful, beautiful aircraft. And there we can see RAF Mosquito fighter bomber in action making a strafing run against the German U-boat in June 1944. There we go. I wouldn't want to have been in that U-boat with that coming after me. Okay, and then in our next set of parts in pack 51, we're going to be getting this. So we're going to be getting the spotlight for the underside, and there's the ring to hold it in. So they call it the ventral turret ring. There was actually once a turret there. It wasn't really so much a turret, it was more like a machine gun holder sort of thing. But here we go. So the first thing we'll do, as usual, we will get the box, open the parts and see what we've got in here. So we have a circuit board with cable. We have 3 identification lights. This has got the LEDs in it, yes. So no doubt we'll be able to test this in a minute. And then, in fact, though I won't. If they don't suggest testing it, I won't, because it may be that the voltage in the tester is too high for these LEDs. And then we've also got a pack of FM screws. So these are going into metal, so we're going to have to do some tapping. And these are M2, so we'll have to tap out the metal and get those in, I think. Okay, so we've got all the parts. Right. The illustrations in this issue do not show the ammunition ducts fitted to the upper side of the rear floor space in issue 48. This keeps the illustration simple and avoids unnecessary confusion. Take care not to dislodge the ducts when fitting the cables. Okay, so we're going to be fitting the machine guns. So we've got the machine guns here from pack 47, wasn't it? Carefully position the aircraft body upside down. Now see, this is why I didn't connect the front of the fuselage. Okay, I haven't connected the front of the fuselage because it's here and it'd be more difficult to handle and store. So I wish I now hadn't glued these in because they're going to easily be broken off. So what I'm going to do is take my little paint stand and stand it up on that. And that way those little rods won't get broken off. Okay, so I'm going to get this magazine out of the way. We'll get this here. We'll stand that like that. Okay, so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to put the light on. Right, so we've got to take our machine guns. Carefully position the aircraft body assembly from issue 40 upside down on your work surface. You will need to arrange supports and cushioning so that none of the details are damaged. Take the two sets of machine guns with cables 47A and 47B. Just wondering actually. Yeah, I can do that. Take these two blocks and stand that like that. Right, so we've got the two guns 47A and 47B in this bag. So I'm going to unravel the cables. So these are going X and V. So this is X. So this one's going in closest to me. So we'll fit this one first. I'm not really sure if this is such a good idea fitting these now, but it looks like that LED board for the lights is going to hold these cables in. But this is all going to be flopping around at the back. Okay, take the two sets of machine guns with cables and position them with the connectors beneath the floor and the machine guns by the tailplane support. Make sure you have the guns on the correct sides as shown. The connectors are marked V and X, which helps to position them on the correct side of the model. Beneath the rear floor, allow some slack where the cables run through the raised circular rim. Then ensure that the cables pass on either side of the raised screw sockets and between the two raised struts, blue arrows. So I'm going to grab some masking tape here just to help. So I'm going to grab a couple of bits of 18mm wide masking tape. I'll have that on the bench like that. And I'm going to unravel this one as well. So basically untwist that like so. Okay. Be careful, don't just pull them, because what you'll do is you'll put a kink in the cable and it's difficult to straighten out. Okay, then just run them through your fingers like that and that will get them straightened out. Right, so that's V. So V is going on that side, X is going on this side. So they have to end up in the bomb bay here. Now I'm sure they're going to be easily positionable. Okay, so what I'm going to do is start here by putting this one here. I've got loads of extra cable by the look of it because they're showing it as being, you can see it here, they're showing that little bit of slack there and they've got a little bit of end there. Well, if I put those ends as they are in the instructions, I've got all this slack back here. So I'm sure they'll be positionable afterwards. So what I'm going to do is put this one here like this, put this one in here like this. Okay, and I'm going to set them both to the same length, like that. And then with a piece of masking tape, be careful not to dislodge those lovely ammunition chutes. I'm going to put the tape that way actually, so I don't damage those ammunition chutes. That should just hold it there temporarily. And then here, keeping them either side, just like that. We'll tape that there. Okay, so that's got those held in place. Alright, so we're going to go over the page. At the tail end of the assembly, the cables run through a recess in the tailplane support 13A and over the bar on part 13B. Yeah, that's quite obvious. Note the position of the guns. The double arrow indicates the position of the holes in the central drum of each gun. Yeah, make sure you've got them the right way round. There's a hole on the inside. No, there isn't. There's no holes in my guns at all. It looks like they messed up. I can't see which is the correct way up either. Okay, those two knobbins there, those two lumps, they got face downwards. So there should be a hole in there, and there isn't. So I think they might be sending us replacement guns. Yeah, there are no holes in there. It looks like their mold tool got broken. So we'll either have to drill holes in there or whatever, but we'll leave that for now. Now we've got to take, I'm going to tap those threads out there 2mm, okay, so I can screw that circuit board in. Back in a second. Okay, so I've tapped those two threads out now, M2, and I've untangled the wire from this LED panel. Now, they're not telling you which one. You can see on here we've got D1, D2, D3. I'm guessing it's not really important. But when I look on the instructions, we can see that the black wire is to that side. So I'm putting it in so the black wire is to that side as they've shown. So that's basically going to pop on there like that. This cable's going to run through there. Okay, so we can lift this masking tape if we can get under it with our bitten fingernails. So that's going to go in there, that's going to go in there, and then we're going to tape that down like that. Remember, this is just temporary, guys. So grab a screwdriver, grab a screw. This is an FM screw, and then we'll make sure the cable is not being trapped underneath the circuit board. Make sure it's to the side of the post where the screw's going. Grab my smaller screwdriver actually, because this one's a little bit big for those. And then we'll get this one again, making sure the wires are either side of the raised post that the screw goes into. Just nip those up just enough to hold it down. It doesn't need to be graunched down. Remember, the circuit board will probably crack if you over tighten it. So there we go. So we've got our wires and everything held in there. And then we're coming over the page and they're showing us how it all goes together. This shows the circuit board in place with the connector mark T positioned next to the connectors for the machine guns. Ensure there is a bit of slack in the cable so that it can curve around the circular feature on the underside of the rear floor. Yeah, we're going to be putting a gun in there. Or not a gun, a light. So, but we can worry about that at a later date. And you can see here they've got the actual model itself, and you can see the guns are way out like that, and they've got loads of extra cables in here. The machine gun cables and the LED for the identification lights have been fitted to the model. We suggest you use some short lengths of masking tape to hold the cables in place. The identification light lenses will be fitted at a later stage. Store them carefully until needed. So there we go. That is the end. That is the final build of 2024. So they are clearly going to be going over there, and then LED is going to go underneath them. And we've got arrows on there. Oh no, it's number 2. I thought it was an arrow. Yeah, so they're going to go like that. Look, as you can see, they're going to go like that. So we're going to get those into a bag, and we'll keep those like that in a bag, separate, so they don't get lost. We can also put our tail wheel into a bag so that that doesn't get lost. And we've got our rear turret here ready for perhaps coming back for a revisited. So there we are. These cables here, we can take them all together, whatever. We can pull this one through a bit because it's a bit shorter than the others. There we go. So get them all to the same position. There we are. and then you can loop them round, tie them in a knot, whatever, just to keep them all tidy. There we go, just like that, and that'll keep them a bit tidier. And then we'll do some nice neat taping and get these guns all taped in safely. So I'll see you all. I think we're going to be replacing these guns. I think Hachette are going to send us replacement guns, because that is. I'm just going to check. It's saying there's holes, but there are no holes. It looks like their mold tool has got broken off. I'm not sure we're going to be able to drill them, because this is all one big sort of strobe in here, and I'm not sure if we drill them if it's going to ruin the effect. It's like a fibre optic cable in there, so we shall see. I will contact Hachette and ask what's going on. Right, I'll see you all soon. Thank you for watching. Merry Christmas, and we'll see you back next year with pack 51. As I say, we're going to be working on this ventral turret light area in here. So looks like we're going back to the fuselage now, which is good. I'll see you all soon. Bye for now.